Hi, Cheryl Mays, your Chief Experience Officer from Rise and Shine Consulting and Coaching Firm. And today I am speaking to you from the director's desk of Master the Sale Academy. And I want to talk about effectively communicating with difficult customers. Here's the reality, my friends. It's never if something goes wrong, right? But when. When something goes wrong, do your team, do they have the capability of not being unnerved and unprepared to deal with these conversations? Are they emotional versus clinical? Do they have tools and techniques that will allow them to take a negative situation and turn it around to a positive by utilizing effective communication? So let's break it down. There are 3 V's in communication, right? Our visual, our face-to-face, our vocal, which is our tone of voice, and then our verbal, which is our vocabulary. And we use each of those to a different percentage when we're communicating. Our visual, we use 55%. That's my facial expressions. It's my gestures. It's my eye-to-eye contact. It's even the way I stand. My vocal, the inflection of my voice. Am I raising my voice appropriately, or am I raising it inappropriately, depending on the verbiage that I'm using? Also, the pace of my speech. Am I speaking very fast, which means that I'm a little less confident, right? Or am I speaking at a pace where people can understand, they can hear me, and they can digest what it is that I'm stating? And then there is my verbal. The vocal, we use 38%. Now, our verbal, which is our vocabulary, which we kind of think is the most important aspect of communication, it's only 7% of our communication. 7%. And out of that, people only remember a very small amount of what you say. So using proper wording, words that denote positivity, words that mean resolution, when you use those types of words, you have a better opportunity of taking that poor experience, that experience that failed, and turning it around. So the other day, I was on a phone call with a company, and I was getting something done for my mom. And as I was speaking to the employee, we were having some issues. And I don't know if they were new or not, if they were in training, but there was an employee in the background. So obviously they had me on speakerphone, which means I can hear everything that's going on in the office. And we were having a conversation, and I heard the employee in the background say, "Well, okay then." But it was that snide, "Okay then." And I alerted the employee and said, "I heard what your employee stated in the background. I don't know where that remark came from because of what I stated." And so it just put a really bad taste in my mouth, because as a training, if you're training this individual, you just made a mistake because you made a snide remark to a customer. So when we think about the wording that we're utilizing, I want you to think of a couple of things. Number one, what does it sound like in person? Right? What are the words that I'm utilizing? Understanding that I'm utilizing 55% is my visual. So if I'm utilizing my wording and I know that's only 7%, I have to say things like, "I'd be glad to help you. Let me find out," versus "calm down," versus raising my voice, versus making snide remarks as an undertone. Those are things that are going to elevate the level of frustration for this difficult customer that you're dealing with. And remember, customers don't start out angry and disgruntled. They start out frustrated, and then they elevate to disgruntled and angry. So eliminating those words, even the word of "no problem," which tends to roll off of our tongue. But remember this, it's 2 negatives. So instead of saying "no problem," "I'd be glad to help." Big difference. Changes the messaging. Now, what's the goal? The goal is to take this difficult situation that has occurred, turn it around to a positive experience so that you have a customer that remains with you. And you form a partnership, one that says together, we can create a solution that will be to your expectations and preferably exceed your expectations. And then there's this one question that's going to allow you to be of even more help. And that's simply asking the customer, how would you like for us to handle this? What would you like to see happen? How would you like for this to be remedied? Any form of that question is going to be one that says, tell me what you would like for us to do in this instant. Now, what you've just done is you've formed a partnership. You've allowed that person to let you know what their expectations are. And now you can meet the expectations and hopefully exceed it. This is the power of effective communication, and that is the benefit of using your words, your tone, and your visual communication effectively. Now, I have a course at the Academy that is solely on effectively communicating with difficult customers, and I want you to check it out. Here's the website, risingandshine.com/academy. You have the opportunity of being able to check out the course along with the other courses pertaining to customer service. Listen, if you have ever had a conversation that was difficult, it was a negative situation, and you just didn't have the tools, if you've ever hung up the phone and said, God, I wish I could do that call over again. Or if you've ever taken it emotionally, personally, and you knew that that wasn't the best way to handle it, but that was your initial response, then you need to check out this course. This is going to provide you with tools. It's going to provide you with techniques. It's going to provide you with a better understanding of how to effectively communicate with difficult customers, because it's never if it happens, but when. And you want to be able to take a clinical approach so that you end up with a positive outcome. That's the lesson from today from the Director's Desk. My name is Cheryl Mays. I am your Chief Experience Officer for Rise and Shine Consulting and Coaching Firm. Listen, if you are viewing this video and you are not on YouTube, then please subscribe at The Cheryl Mays. And if you're watching this on YouTube and it's your first time, then please go ahead and subscribe. Share this video. Share it at your next meeting. It's definitely going to be beneficial for your employees. Until the next time, create customers that create customers.